Hey, this is Elliot Wave Sage. I want to go ahead and do a quick market update. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for education and entertainment purposes only. I had to repost my video. Wanted to make a couple changes real quick and repost it. So let me just go through this real quick. So the Dow Jones, I have it finish in wave 4 here because I believe the flat has been negated because of the wave structure. This is just 3 waves down. This would have needed to be 5 waves. We didn't get it. Breaking this high negated that. So I do believe you have to call this a low. Now it could still double correct lower in 4. So this high has to get taken out on Monday. If it can't do that, then it is at risk for a double correction. I do believe when you look at the count of the Dow, we need one more push higher to finish 3. This wave 3, I believe, again, is this entire wave sequence right here, and then we would come back down, lose this 5th wave, maybe come back down to 36.9, and then get a 5th wave, something like that. That's what I'm thinking right now. And and I would just kind of just keep that in mind as you're trading it. And is it in danger of a flat? I was again looking at this that maybe it could be 3 up, but when you really look at the sequence here by breaking this high right here, you really negated the flat in a lot of ways. So I really don't think you're going to get a flat in the Dow. So I think the Dow shows you that the market will continue higher to let this finish out. Now, I don't want to get you guys too excited here, but what I know, there is a chance I could kind of tweak some of the labeling, right? I can tweak some of these labels. I could put like 1, 2 here, and this is by Elliott wave theory. This is still okay to do something like this. So in other words, we are in a top-end process. Depending on how you label it, you can call it finished. I'm just giving you my best, look at how I see it, and you just need to be very careful here in this area. The SPY should be pulling back in this 3-wave move. I'm looking for a bounce and failure. It looks like we broke out of a pretty healthy wedge here that we're back testing. And now the SPY is also showing 5 up here, 5 up. And, again, could it be a flat correction? I could possibly change the labeling where this is like an A, B, C for one wave connector, A, B, C for another. So there is a possibility that I could play around with the labeling and allow this to become a flat here. So this could be in more danger of a major drop. It's a very low probability event, but it's still not impossible. So you may not get this 5th wave here with just some tweaks of the label. I could put the 5 there. I could call this A. I could call this like A, B, C, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up, down, and down. Triple Qs, same thing. Could easily call this a flat and like an A, B, C here. Again, you have 3 and you have 3, so it is possible to relabel this. I see it a little different, but it doesn't mean it can't. I could also put the 3 here, the 4 here, and the 5 here, and then call the whole thing finished. This is one of the weakest indices. I don't like to buy this. I think we're coming to the very end here of the technology move. There is a chance you could get like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 if the pivots hold on the weekly RSI here, and we don't go below if this weekly doesn't break here. But it looks like to me we're already breaking this whole cycle, so it's actually in danger of a flat or calling this finished in 5. The monthly cycle, if that breaks on the RSI, which it looks like it's going to, that could also lead to a substantial sell-off and bear market in technology as this comes to its apex. We've seen that before here at this kind of the same situation here. Okay, same situation. So just keep that in mind if you're going into tech. You know, this is the end of the move. Traders love to come in at the end of the cycle, and that's what I think is happening. And I hope a lot of my followers, you know, are thinking about, you know, the being defensive and protecting their hard-earned money. If we get something like this, or 5 is done, it's very unlikely we're in this moon boy 1 2 1 2 1 2. I wouldn't, you know, really worry too much about that yet. The IWM, again, we have just like this one last push higher here, and then that should do it. I can easily call X in and change the label in, and so very dangerous to chase that last little bit. And when you look at the wave, this looks like 5 waves down here. So this actually could become like a 1 2 here, a 1 2, and if that's the case, then more than likely the top is in, or we're in this A, B, C, and 4, where it does like something like this, A, B, C. Okay, so that's what I think, but you'll have to do what's best for you. Bitcoin, again, I warn people that watch my live stream, watch for this flat, and it may play out. I do believe it could even go below these levels and try to retest this area of support. So be careful chasing it. Now, if we could take this high out here, then it's probably a 1 2 1 2, and we should go up to these areas. Oil should be finishing up this big move down and counter trend rally here. Somewhere around 80 bucks maybe. Silver is in a buy area for wave 4. Silver's in wave 4, should get this 5th wave and a big pullback. There is a more bearish situation for silver, where you only have 3 waves up, 3 waves down, which also means it could flat and drop. So you need to understand the big picture and where you are, and know if you're going to try to take the long position, you really do need to keep an eye on your stop losses. Nothing's guaranteed. Now gold looks more bullish. It looks like we have a buy here soon coming up. You know, I can't really get a flat correction in gold here. It looks like it will just keep grinding higher. Gold is more bullish than anything I mentioned before. So then the dollar index looks like we should be bouncing. One more bounce higher at some point when B finishes. We'll get this wave up and then down, and this should be risk off of the market, and we'll see what happens. And interest rates, same thing. We want to puke down. We're waiting and waiting. We'll hopefully get that big sell-off. The VIX was really interesting. We did break out at a wedge. It was a false breakout. We came back. We actually back tested and held, and then it fell back in. I'm looking for like a 3 swing down, and then find support around this 1450 area, 15 VIX, and then I could see another push higher, and then this is where either like a coiled spring, it releases all its pressure and it just moons, or we at least get back up to like 22 and we finish this 3-wave move. This looks like an A, a 5-wave move on the VIX here. That's what it looks like to me. Big cap tech real quick. We have Apple here, should push lower in 2. Wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce and fail and go, you know, bounce and fail. There is a very bearish setup though, potentially here with a 3-wave move, that this is a flat and actually drops to 108. So be very careful chasing this Apple. But if we could take this high out at 242, should negate the flat. Amazon looks like it's got a nice healthy drop coming. It should drop down to this 160, 158 area, but since it's a flat, it could actually keep going. But it looks like it's in an A, B, C pattern. Facebook is kind of finishing up 3. It should find support here at 385, 381. Netflix should be bouncing in this area, and that bounce should fail. Tesla is in a wave 4, should pump into a wave 5, and then have a big pullback. If it can't hold these levels at 200, let's say, then it's in a connector wave. for this big decline, and then this 2 will go and break this low. It will be a very big sell-off in Tesla. Google is in a buy area for wave 5. Again, if we don't get 5, we only have 3 up, so it could still be a big flat, and we could still come all the way back down. So Google really needs to find a bounce here to finish this 5th wave. And then AMD did break this low. I expect it to go down to 103 at least or lower. It's probably going to go down in an impulse of some kind, something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So look for a 2, a bounce, and then that fails. But you can't rule out just a waterfall sell-off straight down. I don't like to buy it at all. I like to try to short it if I can. And now NVIDIA looks like it is due a bounce, and then that bounce should fail. Microsoft, again, should find support here at 405, but that bounce should fail, and we should go to 370 as well. And that's just kind of looking at the big cap stocks. Let's go to the GME and AMC stocks. So GME and AMC I do believe it's in a connector wave of some kind here that needs to finish up. Something like this maybe, but then I think we get one more leg lower to retest this area at 2248, and then if it can hold it, great. If it can't, then we're looking at a big connector wave that will take us down to these lower areas, down to $18 or lower, just so you know. AMC a little bit more bullish. It hit our buy area, went up vertical. Looks like it's in some kind of wave 2. Could pull back to 498. This area, it doesn't have to. It could be done really. It just depends on how this plays out. And then we want to see this big move out. We really need to take these highs out here to really get this thing going. Again, this is an important low that must hold now at 453 if you're trading it. So that is those stocks. So again, just wanted to go really quick through everything. SQQ was here. You had A, you had a B and C, you have W. Again, this connector wave. A lot of people are like, oh, it's going to rally and pump and fill the gaps. It could very do that on technology and then fail. It doesn't have to, though. It could be a shallow connector wave. It could be a very shallow connector wave that's finishing up. And then you can get this SQQ to pump up to $12, which would be a big sell-off in tech. So I don't like shorting or buying long here. If I get a clear setup, I would like to re-enter, re-enter this trade. Of course, the trade idea was enter here, which we did, which I did, and then sell at the sell. And now we're waiting for a move. And if we drop, I would look to rebuy this or short tech. If we break this high at 955, this looks like it's too big here to be part of the same cycle. I wouldn't call it like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's becoming too big. It's just so if this is a 4, we really need to come up higher. So I guess there is a possibility that it is a 5-wave move still. We get like something like that, and it's a 1, 2, and we finish that on Monday. But if once that 45 cycle breaks, then you have a connector, and then it's a shallow connector. TQQ could be a buy here at $60 on Monday. This could be for a counter trend bounce, but of course it's very risky to be trading tech long for those situations I just talked about. This would become an A, a B, a C, and more likely would fail. But you do risk the chance it's a waterfall sell-off and it just unravels. So you just be careful chasing it. But I show it in case you're thinking about opportunities on the long side, but this isn't really one I would recommend. The Dow Jones, again, looks more bullish. Gold looks more bullish, and so on. IWM should make another high. Either the 4 is done here and our count is off, or it will finish here, and then we'll get 5. So it's tough to say. But you are risking the fact that this could be X. And we've talked about the fractal that Russell likes to play, this fractal where you like to pump, you consolidate, you run up, and then you crash. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. Hang Seng is continuing lower, so just keep an eye on that. Should continue lower. Now this may be assigned to. The markets are ready for a big bounce play. Wave 5, maybe this is where wave 4 ends across the market, and then this is the final wave higher across the market. If Hang Seng comes down to these areas and breaks this low, that's a major warning sign. So I think I've covered everything I needed to real quickly. Like I said, I had to repost the video. You know, just a couple things I needed to tweak looking at it a second time. So I do think you know, you need to be you know, think about being a little more defensive. The market's in a top-in process. There's a small chance that these flats in technology, the SPY, IWM could, not the flat, but IWM could finish and go down substantially lower. So there is a risk, but it's a very low likelihood. What I showed here is the most likely path, where you find support in 4, we make 5, and then the market drops significantly. But you do need to keep an open mind to a more bearish scenario that is still possible. I did want to mention Bitcoin also has that bearish possibility that has not been negated by Elliott wave theory. Elliott wave theory says a flat could be in 3 and 3 and 5. This could very well be an A, B, and C, and then we drop all the way back down to these lows, but probably break them. That is still not, that's still a valid scenario that I know people don't want to think about. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. But until we take this high, the high out here at 73,752, that is a possibility. So that's why this is an important level, because then it opens up. That becomes more likely. But I think if that does break, what you're going to see is more like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to see some kind of a, you know, connector B, and we'll come back down to this 35,000 area for 2, and it'll be like a 1, 2. That's probably like 80% chance. If this low breaks, that's what we'll get. 20% chance it's the big flat, and if it's the big flat, more likely the stock market's crashed, and we'll all know. All right, guys, that's all I got. Talk to you later.